Hi folks, this is Nitin here. Today I'm going to show you an easy way to create your own stock portfolio using Google Sheets. Google Sheets has a cool feature called Google Finance, which can be used to track stocks from any exchange across the world. For simplicity, I will discuss this feature with the National Stock Exchange or NSE of India. The syntax of this function is on your screen now. I will explain the function as we go ahead. To start, open your browser and type drive.google.com on your URL bar. Make sure that you are signed in through your Google account. Now go to the top left corner, click on New, go to Google Sheets and click on a blank spreadsheet. Now, first let's rename the sheet. Since we are creating a real-time stock tracker for our stock portfolio, let's rename our file RealTime Stock Tracker. Very innovative name, right? Now let's put our headers in. First, select a cell and type ticker. Basically, a ticker is a short form for a unique company listed on the stock exchange. For example, for the company Radico Khaitan Limited, an easy way to remember this would be through its ticker Radico. Next header is LTP. This is basically the real-time pricing of the stock, or after trading hours, the closing price. Next is open, the opening price of the day. High for the highest price of the day and low for the lowest price of the day. Previous close for the closing price yesterday and volume for the volume of the shares traded. Now let's pick up any stock. I was talking about Radico earlier, so let's add that here. Below our ticker heading. Now below the LTP heading, let's add the Google Finance function. Add the equal to sign and then type Google Finance. As you can see, it can come from the drop down itself. Just press the tab key and it shows you the various attributes that are there. Since Radico is listed in the National Stock Exchange, we add open quotes and closing quotes, put NSE in the middle, then reference the cell which contains the ticker. If you want to check a stock listed in NASDAQ or any other exchange, replace NSE by NASDAQ or the name of that exchange. Now, since we want to know the current price of the stock, we add price after this within quotes. And now close the function. Now you can see that the price information was fetched and there you are. The current price of Radico share is 1136. As you can see here, I have just filled up all the values, and I'll go through it one by one. So for the other columns, all I did was replace price with price open for the opening price, high for the high price, low for the low price of the day, close yes for the closing price on the previous day, and volume for the total volume of shares traded. You can change the company ticker to any other NSE listed stock, say let's say TCS. Press enter, it will take a second to load and there you are. So how do I use this? We have all seen stock movement patterns and charts, 1 day chart, 5 day, 1 month and so on across the net. I generally get my stock exchange information from tickertape.in. It is a great resource for getting information about a company and its performance. So let me just try Radico. As you can see, it's a great resource for getting information about a company and its performance, comparison with other stocks, its future and projected revenues, forecasts, information about its financials, comparison with companies of the same industry, and also certain recommendations. Check it out at tickertape.in or click on the link in the description below to register with Tickertape and get your information too. So this is what the charts will look like. This allows you to track the price of the share in a week, a month, or a year. You can also create a performance of the stock since the time that you bought the share. Let's start by going to our real-time stock tracker sheet and open a new sheet by clicking the plus sign over here. Let's name this as an internal tracker. Now let's put our headers for the information that we need to input. This can be added to the function itself, but I like to place the information separately so that I can play around with the function and note the changes in our tracker. So let's start with the ticker, start date, end date, interval, and frequency. As you can see, I have filled up the information in the cells. End date is today's date and can be added using the simple function equals to today with brackets on the both sides. I have put the interval as 30, which tells the function that I want to see the last 30 days data. I can replace this by 7 to see the last 7 days data also. As you see, the start date changes because the start date is end date minus the interval. This tells the function from what date I want to see the data and for what interval. You can replace this by a specific date too. For example, if you bought the shares on 1st of April 2021 and want to track the share performance since then, replace this by a specific date, say 1st April 2021. Frequency can be daily or weekly. Alternatively, it can be replaced by the values 1 or 7. All other values are disallowed. I use data validation to create this drop-down for easy use. You can simply type the values in the cell when you need to change them. So now that we have all the values with us, let's create our stock tracker with charts to visualize the price movements. In one of the cells below, type equal to Google Finance. Now add brackets on both sides and in the middle type NSE and colon. And then reference the cell where we've placed the ticker. Again, add a comma. Type close as we want to reference the closing price or the closing value of the stock each day. Next, we reference the start date value. So just add a comma and put the start date in. Then we add the end date value. And then we add the frequency value. Close the function, press enter. It will take a second to load, and there you are. The last 7 days, all the trading days values, the closing values of the stock are available here. Now let me just change the interval to 30. And here it shows you all the values for the trading days of the last 30 days or so. But still, not much fun looking at the data, right? Let's make a chart that will help us visualize the closing price data better. First, let's change the format of the date so that the chart looks better. Select all the data cells, go to Format and then to Number and select Date. There you see all the values have now changed to just the dates. You can actually modify this in a format very similar to the format mentioned in C3 or D3 by again going to Format, Number, Custom Date and Time and selecting this format itself. And there you are. Doesn't it seem much better now? Now select all the cells that contain your data. Go to Insert and then to Chart. The chart is there, but you can improve it to look much better. We can get the chart editor on the right hand side, or you can right click on the chart and select Data Range. On the editor, go to Customize, select Vertical Axis and put in a value as the minimum value. In the chart, all the values are above 1000. So let me just add that as the minimum value. Now, this looks much better, right? Now we can play around with the parameters and the graph will change automatically. Let's change the stock name from Radico to Zentech, which represents Zen Technologies. Now we see that the graph has changed, but it doesn't look good because all the values are around the 200 price. Now, let's go to the editor by going to Data Range, go to Customize, and let's change the minimum value to, let's say, 200. And there you go. We can change the interval value to modify the starting date, change it to the last 6 months or 180 days. And you will see that the value has changed. But the chart shows last 30 days data only. Let's change the frequency to weekly. And we also need to change the chart data set. So again, let's go to the editor. Select the data range and then click on the icon. Now let's select the cells that you want included in this chart. Once they are selected, click OK. And the data is updated in the chart. Let's just modify the minimum value again. And there you have it. Doesn't it look beautiful? So like I showed you, feel free to play around with the parameters and you have your own stock tracker. I am adding a link to the sheet so that you can download it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like the video for the YouTube Algo Guru and subscribe to the channel. I will be sharing a new video every couple of days, so come back soon. Thanks for your time and see you later. This is Nitin signing off.